The arena was loud, but Bobby Lashley stood calm in the center of the ring, his eyes locked on the entrance ramp, because he already knew what kind of night this was going to be, the kind where strength alone would not be enough. Omos came out first, towering over everyone, moving slow like a storm that knew it had time. Behind him walked MVP, smiling like a man who already saw the ending. Lashley cracked his neck, rolled his shoulders, and reminded himself that he had already beaten this giant once, back in 2021, when he lifted the impossible and slammed Omos to the mat like he weighed nothing at all. The bell rang and Omos rushed forward, using his size to shove Lashley into the corner. Lashley fired back with punches to the ribs, quick and sharp, trying to break the giant down piece by piece. MVP shouted from ringside, telling Omos to use his weight, his reach, his power. Omos grabbed Lashley by the throat and lifted him, squeezing the air out of his lungs, but Lashley kicked and fought, dropping behind him and hitting a powerful spear that shook the ring. The crowd exploded, remembering that this was the same man who once made the impossible look easy. Lashley climbed to his feet, breathing heavy, staring up at Omos like a hunter facing a mountain. He ran again, another spear, but this time MVP distracted the referee, pulling him away just long enough for Omos to step aside. Lashley crashed into the turnbuckle, shoulder first, pain flashing across his face. Omos grabbed him from behind and slammed him to the mat, then dropped a massive knee across his chest. The referee turned back just in time to see Lashley kick out, proving that he was still very much alive in this fight. MVP knew they could not beat Lashley clean, not if he stayed strong and focused, so he got involved again. While Omos held Lashley in a corner, MVP climbed onto the apron and struck Lashley with his cane right across the back. Lashley shouted in pain but refused to go down. He turned and punched Omos, then spun and knocked MVP off the apron with a single hard shot. The crowd roared as Lashley stood tall for a moment, blood in his eyes, fire in his heart. Omos came again, swinging wildly, but Lashley ducked and hit him with a spinebuster that shook the whole ring. Lashley screamed as he lifted Omos onto his shoulders, muscles shaking, legs burning, the crowd chanting his name. For a second it looked like history was about to repeat itself, like 2021 all over again, when Lashley proved that giants could fall. He slammed Omos down hard, the sound echoing through the arena, and everyone believed it was over. But MVP slid back into the ring, smashing Lashley in the back with the cane before the referee could stop him. Lashley fell to one knee, shocked, hurt, betrayed by the unfairness of it all. Omos slowly got back to his feet using the ropes, while MVP kept talking, whispering orders, pointing at Lashley like he was already beaten. Omos lifted Lashley again, this time with both hands around his throat, and slammed him down with all his weight. The referee counted, but Lashley kicked out, barely keeping himself alive in the match. His chest rose and fell, his face twisted in pain, but his eyes still burned with that same fire. He dragged himself to his knees, then to his feet, refusing to stay down no matter how many times they tried to break him. MVP shouted in frustration, angry that Lashley would not just quit. Omos charged again, but Lashley moved at the last second and Omos crashed into the corner. Lashley used everything he had left, hitting him with punches, elbows, anything that could slow the giant down. He tried to lift him again, but his body betrayed him, too tired, too hurt, too beaten by two men instead of one. MVP struck him again from behind, and this time Lashley collapsed. Omos covered him, and the referee counted to 3. The match was over, but the damage was not. Omos and MVP kept attacking, stomping Lashley, lifting him and throwing him down again and again. The crowd booed, screaming for someone to help, but no one came. Lashley lay in the ring, broken but not defeated in spirit. As Omos and MVP finally walked away, Lashley slowly rolled onto his side, holding his ribs, breathing through the pain. He looked up at the lights, then at the crowd and raised one hand. They cheered him not because he won, but because he fought like a warrior, because even when he was screwed over, even when the odds were stacked against him, he never stopped fighting. And everyone knew this story was not over, because men like Bobby Lashley do not stay down forever.